Tonight in Virginia Beach, unity, strength, and love.
When it happens in your own backyard, there's a completely different emotion that takes place.
People are pulling together as Friday's chaos comes into sharper focus.
Rounds were coming through doors, were coming through the wall. He knew where our officers were, and he had every intention to inflict bodily harm on them.
We begin tonight with the investigation into Friday's mass shooting now in its third day. Today we learned a lot more about what happened inside Building 2 at the Virginia Beach Municipal Center. Police shared with us a detailed timeline of events. The city also confirmed the gunman, Dwayne Craddock, resigned the morning of the tragedy. Meanwhile, 4 victims are still in the hospital. They are all in critical condition. We also learned today that municipal offices will be closed tomorrow. The focus for many people in Virginia Beach is on remembering and honoring the 12 people killed. And that's what we are going to do tonight. Allie Weatherton starts us off. She's at the Municipal Center. Allie.
Well, David, as details continue to come out, the community comes together. Take a look behind me of this growing memorial. All day we've seen people hugging, crying, and just talking with strangers as they try and grasp what happened in our community. As wooden crosses go up to remember those 12 innocent lives lost, officials are releasing new details. At this morning's press conference, City Manager Dave Hansen now says on Friday morning, the day of the mass shooting, suspect Dwayne Craddock sent his 2-week notice.
There were no issues of discipline ongoing.
And another very important note to mention, Chief Severa says they are actually phasing in body cameras, but all 4 of those officers that ran inside of the building did not have body cameras on. He says 2 of those officers are actually detectives, so they would have been last to receive the body cameras. He also says they don't have access to any other video at this time. Live in Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
In the darkness of this tragedy, we're hearing many stories of heroism, from the brave actions of first responders to the victims themselves. Our Jacqueline Lee met with a woman who says her life was saved by Ryan Keith Cox, one of the victims of the mass shooting.
David, Christy Dewar tells me Ryan Keith Cox, who is known by everybody as Keith, really was a guardian angel, and if it wasn't for him, there would be 7 additional victims, herself included. Christy Dewar says the chaos erupted in the middle of 2 ice cream sundae birthday celebrations.
And there was a body there on the landing, covered in blood. They had her covered up. I just started shaking and crying, and I just stopped and I kept on staring, and the officer said, "Don't stare at the body, look away." I said, "I can't do this." He said, "Yes, you can. You're strong enough. Come on, don't look. Step over her."
She later learned that body was Missy Langer, one of her friends. And Dewar tells me that tonight she's thinking of the shooter's parents. She said at first she was really angry at them given what their child did, but then she thought about it and she realized they lost someone that they loved as well, and she hopes everyone can have some compassion for them. Live in Chesapeake, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.
In times like these, many people turn to their faith to try and find strength. This morning, there were heavy hearts as Bishop Barry Canestout celebrated Mass at St. John the Apostle in Virginia Beach. Mary Gale, one of the victims of the mass shooting, was a member of the church. The bishop expressed the sympathy of the Diocese of Richmond for all lives lost, acknowledging feelings of both grief and anger. Using faith to try and understand this senseless tragedy were common themes as people gathered to worship this morning. Dana Smith continues our coverage.
A growing memorial outside the Virginia Beach Municipal Center in memory of those we lost. Daughters, fathers, wives, brothers, and neighbors. And less than a mile away, just around the corner from the site of tragedy, community members lean on one another. If you hold on to your faith.
A place of cleansing, a place meant for bending and breaking and reshaping.
In Virginia Beach, Dana Smith, 13 News Now.
We have many tough days still ahead of us as a community. Schools in Virginia Beach will be open tomorrow, but Friday's violence will weigh heavily on students and staff. So the district is asking everyone to wear blue tomorrow, a symbol of solidarity with those so deeply affected by the mass shooting. It is your chance to showcase your love for the community of Virginia Beach. The Municipal Center complex will reopen on Tuesday, but not Building 2. It will stay closed indefinitely while the investigation unfolds. Schools and courts will be open tomorrow. We are learning more details about Friday's shooting every day. Now police are giving us a detailed timeline. We will break that down for you next. Welcome back. This morning we got a much clearer picture of how police responded to Friday's mass shooting. The details coming straight from Police Chief Jim Severa. Evan Watson has the minute-by-minute breakdown.
The first sign of trouble came at 4:08. That's when police dispatch received the first call of shots fired inside Building 2 on the government campus. Officers arrived to the scene within 2 minutes and began to enter the building. 5 minutes later, at 4:15, those officers found the gunman on the building's second floor. The two sides started shooting at each other. This was the start of what Chief Cervera calls a long gun battle. Outside, more officers arrived to help. Over the next 20 minutes, one officer was shot and wounded. The gunman went into an office and shot through the door and the wall. Officers then started planning on how to enter the room, and at some point, the shooting stopped. At 4:44, the officers broke through the door. The gunman was wounded. Officers took him and started providing first aid. He died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. That's 36 minutes between the first dispatch call and the moment the officers took the gunman into custody.
Another point Chief Severa made today, the first ambulances began taking victims to the hospital just 25 minutes after police made their first contact with the shooter. With each passing day, as we all try to process what happened last Friday, there are stories of love and laughter trickling in amid all of the darkness. Lakita Brown's life was cut short in the shooting, but one of her friends wants us all to do one thing: keep smiling, because she says that's what Kita, as her friends nicknamed her, would want. Jessica Winters has more.
It was just love wherever she went.
Love and a whole bunch of laughs.
She cared. She cared. And I'm going to miss her.
Jess Winters, 13 News Now.
Another victim in Friday's shooting was new to Virginia Beach. He loved music and played a challenging instrument. Jenna Kruzinski joins us now with more on how one group is remembering a bandmate and friend. Jenna.
Well, the group Tidewater Pipes and Drums actually practices here at St. Patrick Catholic High School. But instead of getting ready for a performance, they're actually mourning the loss of one of their bandmates, Christopher Rapp, who, as you just said, was new to the Virginia Beach community, but through the love of music and playing the bagpipes, he had a lot of friends here.
We just can't get his face out of our minds.
Christopher Kelly Rapp, one of the 12 people killed on Friday in the shooting at the municipal building.
So I mean, it's surreal, it's unbelievable, it's really all the above.
And as he keeps moving forward, Piercy will hold on to Rapp's contagious smile forever. Now, the pipe major says that he has had a lot of outpouring of support from other bands, not just in the community, but from across the country. But he is going to continue to be there for Rapp's family and remember that contagious smile. Reporting live, Jenna Kurzina, back to you.
We're watching a few thunderstorms across parts of our area this afternoon, and we'll continue to watch them as we move through the rest of the evening and part of the overnight. We currently have one severe thunderstorm warning in when we're closer to 90, and we'll stay into the 80s as we move into the first weekend of June.
Now is the time for unity, strength, and love. You can show your love for Virginia Beach online with the hashtag #LoveForVB. Our coverage continues next. So many people today remembering those killed on Friday. Churches around the area opened their doors to those looking for a sense of community. Megan Puryear is live at Piney Grove Church in Virginia Beach with more.
That's right, David. Now, there's just only standing room at this vigil right now. The room is completely full of love. Everyone in the community came out today, from community leaders and members to first responders. Local and state government officials crowded into the church as one congregation.
Our family will be embraced. My prayer is that we will trust God and that we will have faith to go forward.
Now, what the congregation made quite clear is that they are going to stand by each and every single one of these families and that these victims will never be forgotten. Live in Virginia Beach, I'm Megan Puryear, 13 News Now.
If you want to help the victims and their families, there are a number of ways you can donate. The United Way of Southampton Roads created the Virginia Beach Tragedy Fund. Just text VA Beach, all one word, to 41444. You can also donate through the United Way of Southampton Roads website. For easy links, you can find all this information on 13newsnow.com. A lot of people across the community and the Commonwealth are trying to do what they can to help those impacted by the shooting. So we put together a link to volunteer opportunities. That's on 13newsnow.com. Please see where you can help. We also have that updated on our app. And that is 13 News Now. You're up to date at this hour. We'll be back tonight at 11. In the meantime, you can always find the latest news anytime at our website, 13newsnow.com. For now, have a good evening.